Hey guys, here again with another episode on chakras, and we have made our way down to the sacral chakra, and that one below the stomach, in the navel area, which is like your belly button, I guess. That's where it would be in like the sort of the spinal alignment. Um, and this one is about feeling. You feel. This one is about emotions, relationships, sexuality, self worth, creativity, and empathy. Um, and this one actually reminds me of the connection with radio and how and music also is very much about sexuality, emotions, and um, the frequency of music before was like 440, and it eventually got reduced to 432. And I actually just recently watched a video on this, and I wanted to see how I felt on both frequencies. And the one that I felt better on was the 432 frequency. I felt like that I enjoyed that one a little bit more. It felt like, I think it's a little bit of a higher, happier pitch, which they're very close together. It's very hard to tell. You can almost not tell. But I was thinking about how I felt, and I don't know if I was biased or whatever. But the 432 kind of felt better. That's a frequency that's often used in radio right now. And I also looked to see what I listen to a lot, which is Spotify, and that one's on 440 actually. So it doesn't operate on the radio frequency, and the one that I kind of felt more enjoyably. This chakra is on the 417 frequency, and you can sort of, if you listen to that frequency, you're supposed to feel, I guess, an emotional embrace and comfortableness, and to be able to, I guess, express your emotions, or be in touch with how you feel. I guess what this one's a lot about is how you feel, um, and which is awesome because that's what I did whenever I was listening to that frequency, the radio frequency. This also kind of reminds me of how a lot of blues and those sort of styles of music, they'll have this sort of sorrowful energy to them, and I think that sort of draws the people that really think in that sort of frame of mind. The people that are very sorrow, are drawn to sorrow things, and so they were drawn um, to basically sing the blues. It resonated with a lot of people that were sorrow at the time. I think that might have even, yeah, I don't know if that's kind of like post Great Depression, but there was some tough times probably at the time, and that sort of style resonated with a lot of people, and this sort of comes back to, whenever you think about yourself as almost like a radio tuned to frequency. What sort of frequency do you resonate with the most? Is it the sorrowful lows of music? Is it the songs that are very happy? A lot of people, generally happy songs will be the most popular songs. They're the ones that hit the Billboard Top 100, um, and have that sort of contagious energy to them because everybody genuinely really wants to be happy. But there's also those people that won't resonate with that. There's also those people that would, if they heard the song like "I'm Happy," I forget who sung that song, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so annoying." This guy is he's just happy all the time. He's I'm happy, I'm happy. They can't resonate with that feeling. They can't even probably smile and enjoy the song. So That's just where their heads radios. That's what their minds tune to, um, and that sort of leads to the blockages of this chakra. Um, Experiencing joy is difficult for you. Is going to block your way to feel things, to maybe feel the range of emotions. Uh, Emotionally cold, difficulty changing, holding back. So this sort of ties into like the self-expression still. I mean, all of these all of these chakras seem to sort of um, deal with the way you can self-express how you're feeling. Is this one specifically? And so uh, this one we have to also think about uh, how to keep this balance, be comfortable with your sexuality, um, be comfortable with your emotions, be willing to fully express, but also if you get too over the top and too in like focused on sexuality, I think you can oftentimes suffer in this aspect, being too focused on the outcome of physical pleasure, I guess, uh, to the point where you can't even really connect with people emotionally. You're just trying to in a conversation. You're just trying to go up and close a deal basically, and you're not really connecting with people. Um, if you don't if you don't see that the outcome is in your future, if you don't see that you're gonna get some sort of something from somebody, all of a sudden that's just not going to it's going to flourish more so, and you're just not going to end up um, having success with the opposite sex. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to try to sort of get an outcome, and you're a lot of these people are in tune to this. They understand, obviously, you know, if you're going after a girl, you're interested in a girl, uh, she's probably going to be pretty in tune to that, and she's probably experiences that a lot, especially if she's not going around. Especially if she's single and she doesn't have a boyfriend and everything like that. So she's getting approached a lot. She has a lot of guys that are uh, looking to get something from her, and so that's gonna that's just gonna basically hinder your ability to have the emotional connection with somebody, have that that leads towards you know sexuality, being able to get to that point where you can sexually express your intentions with to the point where you are comfortable with that. I think I think a lot of people also are uncomfortable expressing their sexuality to the point where it hinders their expression, and they have trouble leading to courtship in a way, into that sort of area of courtship. So I mean, it does take time. Often, if someone's like working their way up and everything, but eventually, whenever you find yourself having an easier time connecting with people, uh, and it's just less effort, less focus on trying to have some outcome, and you end up enjoying yourself more. You actually end up increasing your libido. If you have a low libido, this could be a blocker of your own emotional sexuality, self worth. Um, there's different things we covered a lot about guilt, fear, and anxiety. If you have some sort of guilt about your sexuality, um, that's if you've been kind of trained to be guilty about your sexuality. Let's say you won't even embrace the understanding that you believe that the girl that you're talking to is really beautiful. You know, if she asks you, hey, do you think I'm really beautiful? You think I'm sexy? And you're like, oh well, I don't know. You know, I guess so. Like, come on, come on. If she's sexy, just tell her she's sexy. You know, so that's a big problem, really. You'll be tested in ways if she feels that you don't have that self worth, that you embrace of your own sexuality. Um, then yeah, it's gonna be very noticeable. It's gonna hinder you a lot. Toxic relationships. If you've had toxic past relationships, often this will hinder your ability to express uh, your sexuality with other people. Um, Maybe this has created certain beliefs about yourself that you're not worthy to be seen as a sexual person. So that's definitely something you have to find a release in. That's going to create anxiety. Um, it's also going to create isolation where you're not really comfortable going out and uh, embracing who you are in this world, embracing who you are to the opposite sex, and yeah, and you're just going to kind of resonate in that sort of sorrowful. If you don't overcome this, you resonate in this sorrowful, like everything's out of my control. I can't win girls over and stuff like that, and you'll just get stuck in this idea, and you'll also be focused on how you don't believe other people should have, you know, uh, an embrace of their sexuality. I've dealt with some people that have just been like, why is he talking to that girl? He doesn't deserve that girl. You know, it's kind of like they're expressing their own internal like limiting beliefs, and you know, when I was at my best, I had no care for other people's limiting beliefs. I wasn't even trying to change a lot of people's limiting beliefs and stuff. So at that time, I was just doing me. You know, if that stuff's going to hinder your own sexuality and your own ability to embrace people that have a sexual nature to them, then that's out of my control. I'm not going to try to control that. And so I was just kind of on my mission. Um, Sensuality, sociability, ability to clear negative energy, ability to facilitate change and improvement in your ability to communicate in other ways too. Tackling the intrusive thoughts, um, which seems like negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts, and maybe your ability to circumnavigate thoughts that can be detrimental to. Those are just that seems like limiting beliefs and thoughts. Kind of circumnavigate those and sort of tackle the opposite of those thoughts. That whatever's holding you back, tackle that, right. Whatever you have to do, make sure you have that focus on what you're feeling and what sort of thoughts creep in your mind, so you can sort of uh, rewire them in a way, change those behavioral patterns to help you build this inner strength. It's just so important. This one's very important. I know every one of these ones, it just seems like they're more and more important as they sort of um, connect with different areas. This one, it's very important to be comfortable with your sexuality. Um, I've noticed that some people would even try to push on you uh, some sexuality just to see how you kind of react to it in a way. Like one time I was with a girl that she had fake breasts. She had implants, and so I had other friends who were just like, "Oh yeah, you like fake boobs and stuff like that," and I was just like, "Yeah, I don't mind them." You know, it's not really something I'm looking for, but I don't mind them. It doesn't. It didn't really even affect uh, the emotional connection I had with the girl at the time. It just kind of. It wasn't something that I was worried about, and I think that actually also reminds me of something I told my buddy one time. Um, a lot of times, men as a in our whatever our the way we grow up and everything, we're kind of told to repress these sexual uh, tendencies. Noticing a girl that has, let's say, she has larger breasts, um, and that girl says, "Are you looking at my breasts?" Are you the type of person that's just going to be like, "Oh my gosh, no, I would never look at those"? Or are you the kind of person that looks at her and you're like, "Yeah, I noticed them. They look all right." Like, that's the big difference. How can you handle your sexuality? Do you have the calmness of your sexuality, or do you get worked up whenever a girl notices that you notice her? So this is a really big problem, I think. This keeping in our sexuality, keeping it internal, versus being able to even talk if a girl even brought it up um, in a conversation with you, if things were leading that way, are you going to be able to handle that in a conversation, like, or are you gonna fold? So this is a really important one too. This one, I felt like at first they were kind of leading up towards something, but this is something that sort of I think also develops after the other uh, top three. We talked about uh, solar plexus one, the stomach, and the throat chakra, being able to express your voice and everything like that. Um, oh yeah, the solar plexus, that was self development, having a strong dominant nature about yourself. This sort of it seems like not only do these sort of lead up in a way, they also lead down in a way. So your connection with God in the crown chakra, your your ability to listen, your ability to express with your voice, your ability to have a purpose, dominance, and then now your ability to be comfortable with your sexuality. So at first when we did crown, when we worked our way down, it almost seemed like that they were leading up towards the crown. But also now when we get down here, I feel like the top three chakra, also, we forgot about the third eye chakra. So there's actually four. There's four. There's the throat, solar plexus, uh, throat chakra, third eye chakra. The way that you perceive the world, your perception, your astral projection, your astral plane, and your crown chakra. So all four of those are above uh, this sacral chakra, and those, I mean, they all work together in a way, but it almost seems like uh, the solar plexus kind of those four work together really well to help with your sexuality, or maybe even like those ones that we talked about all work well towards reaching a comfortability with God and everything, but also a comfortability with sexuality below. So These bottom ones, we're just starting to get into the bottom chakras, the 417. Uh, these ones are very. These ones can be very unbalanced. There's people that have porn addictions and very negative sexual habits, and so this one is a very important one. Lust for things can really affect your ability to actually enjoy your sexuality and things. So yeah, this one's really important, and this one can really be off kilter and not balanced. And one thing that we didn't talk about, we've been talking about this with every single one almost. The left brain approach versus the right brain approach to this one. Your sexuality isn't something that is going to be really as left brain focused. It's more right brain, embracing the right brain, your emotionalness, your sexuality, and stuff like that. A lot of left brain people are gonna have this idea that materialistic thing adds up to this, and then I'm gonna experience sexuality. So, as you can see, this is a tough one to find the balance. And so, yeah, if you're watching this and you haven't watched my previous videos, you should probably check out the other ones, because they all kind of help. They all help leading up to being a person that's comfortable with their sexuality and emotions, and detached from a need to, a need of approval, a reason for you to feel like you have self-worth. You don't really need that girl to express your sexuality, or that guy to express your sexuality. You're already doing it in a way. So you're feeling. So if you are getting turned down in a way, you have to still make sure that that you're still expressing your sexuality. That you just, it's in practice in a way, for you to sort of reach whatever level you want to be at. Maybe it's a good relationship, which is ultimately what everyone's kind of looking for, is a good relationship. So just think of yourself in practice, working on the balance, finding a way to be seen as someone that is sexual and spiritual and connected to the earth, and all of the chakras above sexuality all combined into an awesome person. And that's like a lifelong pursuit. Even if you're in a relationship, you still have to find a way to find this balance and everything. So yeah, this is a really awesome episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, check out my other previous videos. They're in the Mentoring 365 playlist. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.